Showtime!
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats.
Showtime!
Please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
Showtime!
Let the magic begin.
And welcome back to Futuretech, your weekly source for the latest in tech and innovation. And with me, as always, my co-host, John Irwin. How you doing today, John?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We've got a bunch of stuff. There's always great tech stuff coming. There's always great tech stuff to talk about. And we might as well jump right into this. It's going to take me a second to get the article up, but can classical computers outperform quantum ones? What's going on with this article?
This is an article I read a while ago. So for years, quantum computing, it's obviously been hailed as technology that can potentially outperform classical computers, both speed, memory usage, and it's due to its ability to store and process information using quantum bits, or what we call qubits. And just for people that don't understand the basics of quantum versus classical computing does things in series, so and it can only handle zeros or ones right now, whereas quantum computing theoretically can handle with qubits. They can be in multiple different states, not just 0, 1, anything between 0 and 1. It can handle parallel kind of processes. So just the difference between the two as of right now. So however, a recent study is published in the journal PRX Quantum showed that under certain conditions, classical computers can actually keep up and even surpass quantum computers in performance. So finally, some research in North America here, not touting or not knocking Asia, but it's nice to see some North American research from New York University and the Simons Foundation. They've developed a new classical algorithm that can mimic the behavior of a quantum computer while using far fewer resources. So it's inspired by techniques used in statistical inference, and it only keeps part of the information stored in the quantum state. So it's just enough to accurately compute the final outcome. By selectively omitting certain information, similar to how JPEG compresses images, the classical algorithm was able to perform simulations of a quantum experiment performed by IBM more rapidly and accurately than actual quantum computers. Now, again, we're talking simulation, and we're talking about the current state currently, right? So as of right now, well, who knows? Or in the future, who knows? So what the study does is it demonstrates that carefully designed classical algorithms can efficiently simulate even complex quantum systems, despite the challenges of information loss and translation between quantum and classical states. What it does, though, it significantly advances our understanding of the boundaries between classical and quantum computation. And it also shows that continued improvements to classical algorithms are a great way to surpass potentially quantum right now. So the researchers do believe that their methods can be applied to simulate even larger quantum systems in the future, but we'll have to see.
So before we get too far into it, can you explain the concept of tensor networks and their significance either in both classic and quantum computing?
Yeah. So tensor networks. Tensor networks are incredibly flexible tools. So they could become universal quantum simulators capable of modeling previously intractable systems across physics, material science, chemistry, and more. They can handle things like optimization and machine learning, materials design, quantum field theory, quantum many-body physics, a lot of complex things, aerospace and clean energy, different things like that. So tensor approaches can revolutionize science by efficiently simulating currently complex systems and quantum systems. So there is a potential huge impact, but yeah.
So what's the long-term outlook for tensor network techniques, and how may they progress?
Yeah.
And what specific domains do you think are going to benefit from this?
It's extremely promising. So long-term networks long-term outlook for tensor networks. It goes beyond computing biometric tensor architectures. So there's with further advances, right? So like I said, optimization and machine learning. So with refinements, tensor networks could be applied to optimize large LLMs and configuration spaces far beyond what's classically possible. So material design, what you could do is you could develop molecular lattice-specific tensor encodings tailored to material simulations. So it could accelerate discovery of novel material properties. Quantum field theory. So tensor renormalization ideas applied to quantum fields could tackle problems like high energy physics. For example, it could help with fusion reactions, which is really cool. Fluid dynamics, plasma modeling, catalyst mechanisms fluid dynamics, for those that don't know, are very, very complex because you're using a lot of complex physics. And so these tensor networks could help with that. And then again, with applied math and algorithms. So they could inspire new classical algorithms with more of a broad impact as long as they kind of focus on that. So as statistical methods like machine learning and embedded hardware co-evolve, tensor approaches are pretty much poised to revolutionize science because they're able to efficiently simulate current intractable quantum and complex systems. The other one I didn't talk on is healthcare, but I don't really have any insights into that right now, but that's one that I just thought of off the top of my head as well.
We're going to try and bring some people on to talk about this stuff that are in the field in the next little bit. But we're going to, because it's interesting to see. How do qubits differ from a classical bits, and what implication does it have for computing power and capabilities?
Yeah. So, how do I explain a qubit? So, a qubit it's a quantum bit. So they're the fundamental units of information in quantum computing, and how they're read is you read their superposition. And so let's just dive into it a little bit. We might get a little bit too crazy, but so qubits exhibit unique quantum mechanical properties that set them apart from classical bits. So the superposition, like you just said. So unlike a classical bit that can only exist in one of two states, 0 and 1, qubits, and again, guys, just throw out all of your understanding of current physics, right? Because we're talking quantum physics. So qubits can exist in a superposition of both states simultaneously. So again, it's the Schrodinger's cat. I don't know if those of you that don't know, Schrodinger's cat is you put a cat in a sealed box with a vial of poison that's closed. Until you open that box, that cat is both dead and alive at the same time, because you don't know until you open that box. So think of it like a qubit. So that means that a qubit can represent both 0 and 1 at the same time with associated probabilities. Now we get into entanglement. So entanglement, qubits can become entangled with each other, meaning that their states are linked or correlated, which is huge for quantum computing, because the problem when you look at a qubit, when you read a qubit, it changes its state. So look, we'll get into that in a second. So even when separated by a large distance, qubits can be entangled. So measuring or manipulating one qubit can instantaneously affect the state of the other due to the quantum phenomenon. The other thing is quantum parallelism. Due to superposition and entanglement, a system of multiple qubits can represent and process an enormous number of different states simultaneously, enabling quantum parallelism and potentially allowing quantum computers to solve certain problems much faster than classical computers. I think it was like something that was going to take years with a classical computer was taking days. I can't remember, but like it was crazy. So, and then, qubits are essentially the key to unlocking the potential. I could get into more. There's fragility, there's physical implementation, there's a whole bunch of stuff. But qubits are what are going to help us to solve certain classes of problems more efficiently than classical computers. It's specifically, if we're talking cryptography, optimization, and simulation of quantum systems. Obviously, that makes sense.
And we have a comment here, Qubit or Qbert from the quiz cookies.
I think they came out with the name Qbert before they, maybe not, I don't know, but there's no correlation at all. There's no relation, like
of course not.
No, but like you would think that Qbert, there's some sort of link to quantum, but no, not at all. Qbert does not live in the quantum realm.
So how did the researchers in the study optimize the classical computing to potentially surpass quantum in certain tasks?
I don't know, to be honest.
That's fair. If you don't know the answer to that,
I didn't. So yeah, the problem is, I didn't do a huge deep dive into a lot of some of the things, but yeah. That's
so. What are some of the practical applications where classical strategies may outperform quantum?
Yeah, so there's some things here. The biggest thing I think is database and data processing. So most real-world big data tasks don't have inherent quantum advantages over optimized classical parallelization. It's just a matter of optimizing the data analysis. So there's machine learning, AI model training. So classical algorithms can currently handle vastly more data and parameters. And we're talking about right now. So quantum versions still aren't data intensive enough. Optimization problems with few variables, small problems. They don't need quantum scale up. Simulation of non-strongly correlated systems. So quantum chemistry, material modeling of conventional systems, they don't require quantum resources. Financial modeling, so many applications in risk analysis, option pricing, so they can leverage classical high-performance computing capabilities. Any application where the problems are small, real-world data sizes dwarf quantum resources, or no signature quantum speedups could exist currently, right? So we're talking about the current state.
So, I like to throw curveballs at you, and we're going to be talking about quantum again in our third article. What are the power requirements from quantum versus classical computers? Because right now these things are huge. They require all these things. They're supposed to be superior in a number of ways. And you know me, quantum physics is magic. And so, we have to take a look at this. So is it 10 times? Is it 100 times? Is this something we should really need to be concerned about
Well, here's the thing, right? Is if you think about classical computing, we're at the computer in a big room, taking up a big room stage, and that's where we were, back in the 40s, 50s? I can't remember. But the difference is with quantum computing, quantum computers currently have significant power requirements compared to current computers. Because they need ultra low temperatures, and there's a bunch of different things. So first off, cryogenic cooling. So most current quantum computer architectures, especially those based on superconducting circuits or trapped ions, they require extremely low temperatures. We're talking close to absolute zero Kelvin, or what is it in Celsius? Negative 237, 273, I can't remember. Celsius to operate. To maintain these cryogenic conditions. So in order to do that, it requires powerful refrigeration systems that consume a considerable amount of power. The other thing is electromagnetic shielding. So qubits, because they're highly susceptible to external electromagnetic interference, that can cause decoherence and a lot of errors. That's why a lot of articles right now are talking about the error rate in quantum computing. So that's one thing to help with that, but quantum computers require extensive electromagnetic shielding, which can contribute to overall power consumption. control and readout electronics. So manipulating and measuring the states of qubits, that requires complex control electronics, including microwave and radio frequency sources, signal generators, even readout amplifiers. So that can have a lot of power requirements. And quantum computers still rely on classical computers for tasks such as error correction, control, and data processing. So you're using classical computing power plus exponential more power, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And they use hydrogen to do the cooling and stuff in a lot of this. So I wonder whether we talked, I think it was the last episode, about room temperature storage for hydrogen. Is that going to have an impact on how bringing these temperatures up to a reasonable level?
No, it's not because of what they're using. It's because of the superconducting circuits. The superconducting circuits themselves that they're using, that is what requires the extremely low temperature. And so until they can, so I think we talked about a superconducting material at room temperature in one of our podcasts, or maybe it was just an article I posted. But
we talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, until they can develop a superconducting material that can be used at room temperature, then they're still going to need this, or develop a new quantum computing architecture without superconducting circuits. They're still going to need that cryogenic cooling. So yeah, no, the storage of hydrogen at room temperature, that doesn't affect this at all.
I just feel like every time we talk about this, we take one step forward and two steps back from how long it is until we're really going to see this outside major corporations and governments.
For sure. The one thing is, I think, so they are a major corporation, but the one that surprised me that's developing a quantum computer is Honeywell.
Huh? Yeah.
That Honeywell has developed, and they're actually competing fairly well with the other superpowers.
I would have figured Honeywell was dead.
Yeah, no, they're
except for
still
the
alive
thermostats and stuff, right? They do those still.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of them and technology and stuff like this for years.
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah, so it's going to be cool to see where things go. I think things are moving a little quicker with quantum computing, or it's just that there's more of a focus on it. So there's more information coming out, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what we're doing here and where quantum's going. I'm just still wondering how quickly we're going to get there. When you take the Schrodinger's cat idea, you're now talking about an infinite number of states.
Yeah.
In future, and calculating each possibility of one of those to predict a future outcome. I always think that quantum computing and quantum physics are magic, because literally in this scenario, you're predicting the future. So controlling it, depending by the very nature of our understanding of physics, by observing it, you're making it happen. So
it's a whole other realm of physics. Quantum is a whole other realm of physics, mechanics, computing. Like, it's a whole other thing to think about. Like, you have to throw away everything you've learned in school when it comes to physics, when it comes to quantum.
Yeah, so it always blows my mind when we start thinking about this, that it's not just doing some basic computing stuff. We're really talking about plotting the future of the universe at a atomic level.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
So what do you got going on, John?
I was just looking at my calendar. I have nothing going on in the next 2 weeks, which I'm excited about. These last couple of weeks have been super, super busy. So I'm excited that I really, as of right now, nothing, which is really great, except for potentially CIX and the CIX after party on the 27th.
27th, yeah, we're hosting CIX after party. definitely, if you want to go to that, go to startupdrinksto.com, get your tickets. If you have a CIX pass, we have a show your CIX pass at the door ticket. So go grab that because it's free. If you're not, it's all right. You can buy a ticket and participate. So definitely come down and see that. I got a couple of new coaching clients starting next week, which is exciting. You were talking about some recent changes, and I can't remember, forgive me, to a funding program at our last Startup Drinks. What was the changes?
Oh, no, just a new program opened up. So not a new one, but Can Export opened up. So they opened up. So they used to have rolling applications. Just quickly, they're open right now, I think, until April, but you want to get it in sooner rather than later. They give you up to 50%, up to $50,000 if you have at least $100,000 in declared revenue with the CRA for you to expand into other countries. So it covers things like Google AdWords, things, research, IP, travel, booths, a whole bunch of things to expand into and get sales in other countries. It is quite extensive, I'm not going to lie, to apply, but if you're looking to expand, it's great. You can apply to up to 5 countries at once. Typically, what you can expect, though, to get back, you're never going to get the full 50. It's between 20 to 35,000 is what you can expect.
Yeah, and if you're watching on Twitter and YouTube, thanks for watching. You can leave a comment, and we would see it live. But also remember to like and subscribe. That really helps us a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely check out TorontoStarts.com for all our stuff that's upcoming. If you want to work with me, I help startups and small businesses get unstuck and take their business next level and become profitable. Go to startupcoach.ca. John, if they want to talk to you, they for on everything government funding related, they should reach out to you on LinkedIn.
Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah, happy to answer any questions. I'm pretty responsive on there. That's the best way to get in touch with me.
And we'll have a lot of other stuff going on like we do at Toronto Starts. And everyone have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Wow, that was amazing.
That is all.